at the convergence of the Three Rivers on Art Rooney Drive. We welcome you to Heinz Field in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And this was the scene just a few moments ago as the Pittsburgh faithful were fired up by the hometown Steelers taking the field. They're all set as they'll match up with the Las Vegas Raiders. And no run back here, so they'll bring it out to the 25. First carry for Najee Harris. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. Well, this defense for the Raiders, terrific last week in the season-opening victory.
Yeah, what stood out to me on tape, the way they were flying to the football. So that tells me that they've got all their assignments down, and they're playing with extreme confidence.
Kaepernick going to throw. He gets it complete to Harris. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. They'll wind up losing 3 here on the play. And that's going to lead to a 3rd and 11. Shotgun snap now for Kaepernick. And that is knocked away in the middle of the field and incomplete. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
On 4th down, the rookie Presley Harvin on to punt for the Steelers. He'll kick it away after a 3-and-out on the opening drive of the game. He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. With it is Jackson. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt, and the Raiders will take over now 1st and 10. Here's Mariota. Caught outright by Renfro. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line.
And Hunter Renfro has given them great production for a 5th-round pick. 56 catches last season. And we know he's famous for being 3rd in Renfro. But I think he's pretty good on 1st and 2nd down, too.
And the run with Jacobs on 1st down going nowhere as he stopped well behind the line of scrimmage.
Sometimes I forget how much information he has to go through before the ball's even snapped. But what a diagnosis right there. Saw the play, shot through the gap like a rocket, and ends up spilling it for a loss.
Mariota's throw taken in by Edwards. And some room to work. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds.
And Brian Edwards, the 3rd of 3 high draft picks the Raiders used on receivers last year, if you count Lynn Bowden. They got him in the 3rd round out of South Carolina. A big, strong, physical receiver. They expect more catches like the one we just saw there.
And he gets it down close to the 10-yard line. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. Pretty effective run there, and now they can start to smell that end zone.
Pound the rock. Make sure you use your O-line to set the tone of dominance and physicality, and pound the rock.
2nd down, Jacobs once more. And he'll only get a yard to bring up 3rd and 1.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. What that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
And he's got the 1st down as he gets it to the 8. On On first and goal, Drake. And he's going to bull his way down to about the 1-yard line. A good pickup there, 7 yards, and it's going to be second and goal now.
And, Brad, they went to a nickel defense, and that's a surprise this close to the goal line, because ordinarily you use the back end of the end zone, the sidelines as extra defenders, and
he's in! Touchdown, Raiders! It's the fullback. His first touchdown of the new season, and the Raiders have taken the early lead. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Now this is going to be returned from the back line of the end zone. And ultimately he stopped right where he would have been if he had simply gone down to a knee at the 25. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And the last drive, the first drive for them, not very good. 3 and out. What do they go to here?
Well, you don't look down at your play sheet and say, this is what the problem is. Now let's find out who my playmakers are. Get the ball in their hands and maybe the offense will move a little bit.
Sometimes it's more important to get it to the right people rather than dialing up the right number.
Exactly.
Or the right play, yeah.
That too.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's first and 10 just outside the 30. On play action, it's Kaepernick. And all this is taken in one-handed. What a catch.
And this has been a nice answer to the touchdown drive against them a few minutes ago because they've come out and reestablished the tempo. A nice throw there, and they're putting together a very strong drive as a response.
Now a first down carry for Harris. And now they're going to get him down right at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. A run with Harris out of the shotgun. And he can't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. 56 yards rushing for him as he's got the afternoon off to a great start. They'll try and run with Harris, and that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be second down. Now a give, running left is Harris. And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. Najee Harris, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Steelers are an extra point away from tying this thing up. Oswell good with the extra point. That will tie our score here in this opening quarter of play. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments. From the snap, he certainly looked like he knew where he wanted to go with the ball, but surprise, that guy was covered. So that took his attention elsewhere to no avail.
He's going to let this go deep for Jackson. And this will be caught at the 30. And he will score. Touchdown, Las Vegas. Deshaun Jackson, 75 yards. And the Raiders have taken the lead. Seeing some pretty good offense here in this first quarter.
It's been a wild start to this quarter, as you noted. And now with that lead that we're seeing, can they retaliate? I get the sense this one's going to go back and forth all game long.
And that probably won't be the last long touchdown that we see in this one. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that makes the score 14-7. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline. Because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. To throw, Kaepernick. He'll have a first down past the 40. And he is finally out of bounds, just shy of the 5, all the way down at the 6. A big play there on the catch and run.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
Through one quarter, 14-7 our score. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he's going to press this one forward as they stop it right around the 1. Going to give him 5 that time as they draw a bit closer here for a 2nd and goal. Again, it's Harris. And this time they were waiting for him as he'll be knocked down before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. A 2nd down play results in a loss of 2 yards. From back at the 3 now. This is 3rd and goal. Harris. And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. Najee Harris with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Steelers are an extra point away from tying this thing up. Extra point put through by Boswell. And we are tied here in the 2nd quarter. This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. Now this will be returned from deep in the end zone. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And Charles, the way touchdowns have come so fast and furious for both sides in this thing, it's starting to feel a little bit more like maybe a tennis match in a football game.
Yeah, I like your description there. Maybe we're sitting in a nice royal box watching this type of a game. But let's face it, right now, the way it's going back and forth, it's going to come down to who can get a stop.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Mariota. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
A lot of times it's that first read that you have. Maybe you get it in pre-snap, and he locked in on his target, but he was covered quite well, and that one's incomplete.
They had the incomplete pass on 2nd down. Now they need a big play here, 3rd and 10. Buying time to his left. Into the secondary, past the 40. Marcus Mariota, nobody's going to catch him.
Oh, you got it.
He will score. Touchdown, Las Vegas. Marcus Mariota with his 2nd touchdown of the game, 4th of the year. And the Raiders have moved out in front. So simple math here in the first half. They've had 3 drives offensively, and they have scored every time, and they've got the lead.
Well, whenever we talk about adjustments, we usually talk about an offense making adjustments, right? This is all about the defense. They've got to figure out some way, somehow to slow them down. Do they blitz a little bit more? Do they play more zone coverage? Right now, they don't know where to go because they're hitting them in every direction.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. Good drive last time. Really effective passing the football. Do you maybe mix it up, now go to the ground game and surprise the defense a little bit?
I would anticipate the defense making some changes, but I wouldn't necessarily just absolutely go in the opposite direction. They're doing so well throwing the ball.
Yeah, why
I wouldn't change it up until they showed me a reason to do so.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Here's Kaepernick. That ball caught by the former Toledo Rocket, Deontay Johnson. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down.
The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. Trying to pick it up on the ground with Harris. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 75 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here in this first half.
When you enter the game as the AFC Player of the Week award winner, you expect runs like that and then some.
It was fun to watch him in the opener last week in Week 1. He was spectacular and hoping for more here in Week 2. There's a ball thrown right side and complete. And he'll be out just a yard or 2 shy of the 30.
Deontay Johnson has seen his share of targets increase in his first 2 years in the league, and last year finished with 88 catches. Continuing to work on grabbing everything that comes his way. A nice catch there.
Down to about the 22 here. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be 2nd down.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, gotta like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a first down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
They'll come up now on 2nd and a yard. Now Kaepernick operating on the bootleg. Out to his left. Ebron caught left side. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8.
That's a big league job there of getting out of the pocket, not panicking, and just buying himself some time. Then he made a good, accurate throw to set up 1st and goal.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. Najee Harris on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Steelers are an extra point away from tying this thing up. Boswell good with the extra point. We are tied here in the 2nd quarter. A couple of teams locked into a good one here. 21 all the score as the kick's away. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. We have witnessed touchdowns on back-to-back drives. We'll see if the offense can continue this uptick here.
And I know you're looking at...
That's into a crowd and intercepted. Picked off at the 30. And this one will be returned to right around the 38-yard line. So this is something we didn't see at all from this offense in the victory last week. That's a turnover. They didn't have any, but giving the ball away here in the opening quarter.
I love the surprise in your voice because it's exactly what you stated. Didn't see it last week, but it was a key to their win. And it'll be a key to this game as well, protecting the football. Didn't get it done there.
And he'll be stopped right at midfield.
Oh, that's a very good run there by Najee Harris, who can take it inside. He can get to the perimeter. He can do it all with his build and his speed. This is a guy coming out of Alabama who did everything for the Crimson Tide. That's why Pittsburgh took him in the first round. Last in the league in rushing as a team last year were the Steelers. They're expecting Harris to kickstart their running game.
Yannick Ngakoue in on the stop.
Brandon, 5 yards on that run. Let's get back to the huddle and make sure if you're a back, you spend time with your offensive line and give them credit. Hard to move those 300-plus pounders at the line of scrimmage, and they did for a significant chunk of yardage.
He's got the first down here inside the 30. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. They'll try the left side. It's Harris. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Sometimes you're aligned perfectly and the play comes to you, and sometimes you got to cover some ground to go make the play, as we just saw there.
We saw a great example of perseverance right there on that play.
Got to be careful. They might want to throw one over his head as this game progresses.
He gets this one to Johnson. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down. They'll toss to Harris, and they'll lose yardage here. They go backwards to the 13-yard line. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. And no move to get the offense off the field. They're going on 4th and 5. They're going for it. It's Kaepernick. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And the Raider D, they get the football back. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And they'll have a decent amount of time, 55 seconds to work with, to try to at least get down into field goal range. He's going to let this go deep for Jackson. And that's caught inside the 35. And he will finally be taken out of bounds. A big play there just before halftime. We know he's good at catching the football, but then after the catch, he's got escapability.
Not only that, he's got some toughness as well, because you know he's coached very hard to make sure he battles through, breaks tackles, and then they finish with, but don't fumble the football.
And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line.
Has a nice job there defensively, being able to diagnose that little touch pass. They saw it coming, converged on him before he could get much out of it.
On 2nd and 7, Mariota. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
Just looking at it from a defensive perspective, when you break the huddle in the red zone, tight end is one of the guys you got to key on, because quarterbacks want the ball in their hands fast in this position, and they want to get it to someone. And in this case, he had the play. They just didn't complete it.
In need of a conversion on 3rd down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense. Now Mariota. And that is caught. Touchdown, Raiders. Bryan Edwards. As the first half is winding down, and the Raiders have taken the lead here in the final stages of this first half. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And they will take a 7-point lead. So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive as they go to work with 12 seconds on the clock. Incomplete, and we're down to 8 seconds now. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's the perfect word for it, precise, because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row, you have a job as long as you want one in this league, won't you? I mean, let's face it, it's not just West Coast offense either. He's putting the ball downfield as well.
From the gun, it's Kaepernick. He's going to let this one go deep. And got his man complete. And he does take it in for the touchdown, but a flag on the field, and I don't think this is going to stand.
Yeah, don't put the points on the board just yet.
So we've reached halftime in a wild first half. We'll take a minute to catch our breath. As we'll send you down to Orlando, we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. Mariota and the Raiders now come up 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. On the ground, Jacobs will get the third quarter started. He's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
Second down and 3. It's a jet sweep as they get this to Jackson. And some room to maneuver. And just shutting him off there. And finally out of bounds just inside the 10. It's a big play there for Vegas. You talk about catching a defense off guard. They were not expecting jet sweep at all there.
Well, he was 10 yards downfield before the defense even knew what hit him. So a really good play call against a defense that was set up for them to gain big yardage. And how about how they executed the handoff there? That means they spent some time with the wide receivers taking handoffs from the quarterbacks.
A pickup of 4 on first down. It'll be 2nd and goal. One more time with Jacobs. And the hole closes quickly here. He can fight only to about the 4. Call it a gain of a yard as they get a little bit closer here. It's 3rd and goal. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
3rd and goal at the 4-yard line. And they'll try and run the option to pick it up. And it looks like he's going to be stopped short of the first down by about a yard. 3 yards on the keeper, and it's 4th down. That's kind of an interesting decision. 1-score game, 3rd quarter. What do you do?
Yeah, I'm willing to go out on the limb on this one and go for it. And here's why. If I set it up right now and go get the touchdown, I'm in firm control of this ball game, and my team has a ton of confidence. If I don't get it, hey, I rely on my defense. And if somehow they go downfield up...
And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. Josh Jacobs, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Raiders take the opening kickoff of the 3rd quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And the lead now up to 14. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And on the last drive, they were in field goal range. They just opted not to kick it, didn't get it. How does that change the mentality this go around?
I don't think it changes much for the head coach because this is what he preaches all the time. Attack at all times than any spot on the field, and he likes touchdowns, not field goals. Now, your field goal kicker, you got to make sure you nurse him through and say, okay, don't worry about it. When we need you, you got to be ready to go. And the team, of course, loves to see points on the board. So let's see if it changes a little bit if they're in the same spot again.
Yeah, we'll see what the decision is here if they get to that spot. And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's second down. Second and 10. Now Kaepernick trying to lay one up deep. And that is incomplete.
As this old brain remembers, when I see 5 wide receivers on the field as a defender, I know the ball's coming out hot. They expected it and got there and popped it free.
So now 3rd and 10. They had the big play to start the drive, but 2 incompletions since. Now Kaepernick. Hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Oh, that's got to frustrate him a little bit because they nearly got to him there, and it would have been the first sack of the game. Instead, they're able to influence the release, and they did force the incomplete pass.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. And no return here. This one's going inside the 15 to the 12-yard line. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. They've really distanced themselves. They have put the pedal to the metal, I guess, so to speak.
So definitely have them in the rearview mirror, don't they? I mean, you're exactly right. Being able to string together these drives that end up in points, it's almost like a run in basketball to create that distance, and they're on a really big-time one right now.
It becomes contagious, doesn't it?
It absolutely does, because oftentimes it translates to your defense as well, because they're excited about getting the ball back for their offense that's playing so well.
Well, they are clicking right now. High throw, but the catch is made. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on 1st down. They will run out of the gun with Jacobs. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 41. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they've stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind him. And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going to go down. T.J. Watt causing the disruption. He gets the sack.
And the Watt family certainly knows how to get to the quarterback. His brother, J.J., he led the NFL in that category twice in 2012 and 2015. And now TJ enters the record books. Led the league in sacks with 15 in 2020, but he plays so hard, he's always around the quarterback. 61 pressures last year, 16 more than the second-place finisher. 2 things you can do in that situation: run and punt the football, or try and take your shot at getting the 1st down. They chose the latter, but they'll have to punt all the same.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. This is taken at the 18. A very good return there. Give him an even 20 yards. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. They punted last time they had it. What steps, Charles, you think they have to take to make sure they don't? And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Denzel Perryman in there to bury him for a loss of 11. Working from the gun, it's Kaepernick. He's going to air one out. And this will be caught at the 30. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Chase Claypool, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Steelers are able to make this a close game again. Extra point put through by Boswell. And that'll cut the lead down to a touchdown. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. offense set to get this drive started. Pretty important third-quarter drive for them. Momentum has sort of shifted the other direction after that last touchdown as they nurse this small lead. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line.
Now, that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've kind of hit the jackpot there.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by a Keller Witherspoon. And he will return this one to the 30-yard line. Before we came up to the booth, last thing he said as we were walking off the field, want to play mistake-free football. Well, that just went out the window there with a pick.
And do you remember what you said to me when we were walking up to the booth after he said that? You're like, oh, fatal last words. Every time we hear that, things tend to fall apart a little bit, and that's what we saw there. Didn't get enough.
And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. Najee Harris, 30 yards. And the Steelers have a chance to tie the ball game here in the final minute of the third. Boswell good with the extra point. We'll tie the game here in the third. So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. No run back here, down to a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And their lead has evaporated in this third quarter. It's tied once more as they begin with a 1st and 10. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10. Third quarter, all tied up. This is 2nd and 10. Mariota now. He's going to let this go deep for Jackson. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
There is something to a game plan with trying to keep a defense honest. With a guy with that type of speed, you do so. Send him deep, try and throw some air under it, and hope you connect downfield. On that play, they were unsuccessful.
On 3rd down, Mariota. And a good job defensively. They stop him short of the 1st at the 32. It'll be a gain of 8, but it'll also lead to a 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. Here's A.J. Cole now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. Yards on the return after a punt of 39. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. Excellent job by their defense to force the punt and provide them with this opportunity, all tied in the 4th quarter. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 172 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. They fake the give. Now Kaepernick. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Well, he certainly did a nice job improvising there, extending the play, hoping someone would come open downfield, but they never did.
Here's 2nd and 10. To throw, Kaepernick. It's brought in by Harris. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle comes at the Raiders' 38-yard line. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. 16 yards there, 2 straight plays of 16 yards and another first down.
Another carry for their leader and a good one. It's crunch time. They'll need him to continue to be productive in both the run and passing game in order for them to try and snatch a victory.
And he'll keep it moving down to the 15-yard line. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. And I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the 4th quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line bearing down 4th quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down. To throw, it's Kaepernick. Open man here is Gentry. And he will have the first down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line.
And in a lot of ways, that catch is expected. Red zone presence, and that one was realized there. You've got to find your tight end in that situation.
A field goal could get him the lead, but it might not be enough here as they come up on 1st and goal. Here's Kaepernick to throw. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got 2nd and 3rd down to fall back on.
Another shot from the 9 on 2nd and goal. They hand this off to Harris. And running room hard to come by here. He gets it down to the 8. Only a couple yards there, and that's going to set up a long 3rd and goal.
Partner, I know we're in a goal-to-go situation, but my goodness. Think about running the ball here. Not even a thought, is it?
Defensively, they're in a prime spot.
And I think the defensive guys are probably expressing themselves to them as well. I wouldn't run it here, guys. You might want to try throwing it.
And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. Decent gain on the scramble to 6, but now it's 4th. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. And no movement for the field goal unit to break this tie. They're going to go for this thing. 4th and goal. Here we go. They run for it with Harris. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. Najee Harris taking it in from 2 yards out. And the Steelers are going to take the lead. Extra point put through by Boswell. And they will take a 7-point lead. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And now, after the touchdown a moment ago, they work from behind in a 7-point game in this 4th quarter. Plenty of time on the clock. First down, Mariota. Got a man open. It's Darren Waller. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35.
I like the design that we're seeing right there. This is what they need. Down by a touchdown here in the 4th. They just need to keep working their way downfield. And when they see openings, take their shots.
Play fake. Mariota. Flush to his right. He'll get just a yard on the scramble. It's second down.
So many times we talk about having good eye discipline when you're playing defense, making sure your eyes are in the proper place on a given play. Looks like that discipline came to the front there, didn't it? They were able to hold him for a short gain when he took off running.
And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48.
And there's a typical run by Josh Jacobs, one where as a defender, you have to make a decision about how you approach him because he's awfully physical with the ball in his hands. 12 touchdowns on the ground last year after 7 as a rookie, and he was a 1,000-yard rusher in each of his first 2 seasons. Wouldn't surprise me with enough touches, he could easily crack the 1,500-yard mark.
And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30.
It's a nice completion, a little bit of run after catch as well to create the yardage that they got. But it is so tough to cover that route, the drag route, because they run it at varying speeds. Because the key is to create hesitancy on the defender's part.
Always so empathetic for those DBs, aren't you? Looking for the end zone. And he finds Waller in the end zone for a Raider touchdown. Darren Waller, 28 yards. And the Raiders are an extra point away from tying this game here in the final minutes. Don't forget the extra point. It's up and good. And we are tied here in the fourth quarter. Set to go now with the kickoff. These two teams all even again as we continue in this wild fourth quarter. From a couple yards deep, he'll break down the hit and a loose football. And the Raiders pick it up.
Prime time,
and
baby.
The Raiders are in for 6. Touchdown. Saheed Blacknell. Fine work there on the touchdown run. And the Raiders answer back with a touchdown of their own to break our tie and take the lead here in the fourth. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And they will take a 7-point lead. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. And we'll see a return here from the end zone. And not willing to risk another fumble, he'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. We have seen a lot of points here in this quarter. For us up here in the booth, it's been fun to watch. The defensive coordinators probably scratching their heads.
Yeah, they're going a little bit crazy right now. But let's face it, all of our friends who play fantasy, they're enjoying the heck out of this show because most of them are creating and getting a bunch of points.
Yeah, points certainly not at a premium here. Now Kaepernick. He's going to let it fly. A 50-50 ball here, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the rookie from TCU, Trayvon Merrick. And that's a ball that he is going to want to keep, his first career interception in the National Football League.
And I love what teams do when that happens. You bring the ball to the sideline, the equipment guy grabs it, he puts a piece of tape on it, writes on it so that you know what it is, and then they tuck it away so that you can have it for later and put it on your mantle. Pretty good deal for him right there. Now he's eager to get back out on the field and get his second one.
And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it. The Steelers signal for the second of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. They'll stay on the ground with Jacobs. And he'll take this one only up to about his 13-yard line. Now the Steelers going to use their third and final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. So 3rd and 5, defensively expecting pass. They've got 6 DBs out there. Mariota. He's going to let this go deep for Jackson. Oh, a contested ball here, and it's going to be caught. And all the way down to the 24-yard line. So they will wave off the flag and let the completion stand.
Really great job by the receiver fighting through all the contact and still coming down with the football. All that great work in practice being put into the game.
So barely time to catch our breath. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the red zone. The Raiders likely going to get out of this with a victory as they take a knee. Down to a knee one more time, and that should just about do it. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for Las Vegas, it was a great all-around performance as they come out of this one with the victory. And they'll return home next week to take on the Miami Dolphins. Meanwhile, for the Steelers, they'll fall to 1-1. And they'll be back home next week as they're set to take on the Cincinnati Bengals. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew here at EA Sports, I'm Brandon Gaudin saying so long, everybody.